Hey guys, this is Bankai reporting live from the Nexus, and today we're talking the best mech games that you can play in 2022. Keep in mind, the games on this list won't necessarily be brand spanking new, probably not by a long shot, guys, but they will be great mech games, some of which you may or may not have heard about. And what I'll be doing is breaking down the games that are available on console. These will also happen to be games that I've actually played myself. Disclaimer, Titanfall 2 isn't included here, as I think most of us we're already pretty familiar with that game, but there's also the fact that I've never put that much time into Titanfall 2. I may give it a go once again in the future, but until then, here are the games that I've played quite a bit, and I'm hoping to help you guys make an informed decision on what game you would like to pour all of your free time and sanity into. Before we get into it, remember to like this video and to share and to refrain from being a waste man, and definitely hit subscribe. While you're at it, you should hit the bell or go to hell. Anyway, guys, let's get started. First up on this list is Gundam Battle Operations 2. Now, I have something of a love-hate relationship with this game. It's brilliant, as I've said in the past. It's a great game, but unfortunately, it's also a colossal pain in the ass. Not quite a traditional shooter in the way that HAWKEN is, but it has certain qualities that are reminiscent of Dark Souls. So a Souls game merged with a mech game, if you will. Sort of like Armored Core meets Dark Souls, which, depending on what you're looking for, can be any gamer's wet dream. Just be wary that the ranking system is unforgiving. Playing with randoms is so frustrating that you may or may not find yourself tempted to throw your PlayStation through a fucking window. One of the main things that I really appreciate about Gundam Battle Operation 2 is the combat. I think it's just really nuanced. It has a really steep learning curve, which is pretty cool. I wish there was a more of a free-for-all game mode in this game, so I could really test out some of this stuff, because the game is heavily team-based, and that can sometimes, in my experience, get in the way of me really getting a feel for the game sometimes. Because if you trust me, playing with randoms is an absolute nightmare on this game 99% of the time, guys. But anyway, so the combat is really nuanced. You have to learn to use your counter and tackle ability, which makes you like invulnerable. It also helps you to counter when people try to melee you, which can be a real bitch. Like, trust me, guys, that thing can really be annoying when they try to melee you. So hitting triangle is a very important skill you're going to have to develop when you're playing this game. And it sounds simple, but it's not really that simple at all, guys. Anyway, so yeah, so the combat is really interesting. You have a long list of different kinds of mechs that you can get into with different abilities and all these things, and it's really interesting. And spacing in this game is so important. Like, keeping your distance from your enemies at the right time is really important in this game. It's really is really complex, and I hate to make it sound like you're going to take an exam or something, but it's really a skill-based game, heavily skill-based, heavily team-based. So it's quite a challenge, and it's very interesting, and there's many things for you to get into. Matchmaking is rough in that it takes a while to get a game, but once you get a game, your ping and your connection is pretty good, because the game have very high standards, guys, and we have to meet them before we even have a chance to make it into a match. So it's kind of crazy. But anyway, moving on from that, the customization options are pretty good. You can put decals on your mech. Is that how you pronounce it? Is it decals? Look, guys, I tell you that I drop out of school now. Anyway, you can repaint your mech to your heart's content and more. That is after you've unlocked the Lance Corporal badge. All in all, Gundam Battle Operation 2 is a very good time, even if it did give me a brain tumor. Now, next on this list is HAWKEN. While HAWKEN has a special place in my heart, it simply can't be my number one recommendation. In fact, the only reason I would put it over Gundam Battle Operation 2 is because I think HAWKEN is a bit easier to get into, even though it's so flawed right now. I mean, the reasons I can't recommend it is no fault of the gameplay. The gameplay is perfection, but the game is dated, and it's updated about as often as it rains in the Saharan desert. It runs like monkey on a stick. There are less than a handful of players left playing the game, and with all that said, there's still a lot of fun to be had here on HAWKEN. I've always said that the combat is out of this world. For me, it's the best combat I've experienced in a video game since Dark Souls 1. You have scores of mechs to choose from and to customize, which costs a little money, but nothing too crazy at least. Maybe it's not too crazy. The thing is, I'm like the game's biggest fan, guys, so I could be a little biased here. But the game also has a unique game mode called Siege. This is in case you are new to my channel and don't have the first clue as to what the hell HAWKEN actually is. And Siege is great. It's a pretty original game mode. But to get those games, you may have to head over to the Euro servers. Now, if you're not one of my HAWKEN comrades and you stumbled on this video, there are some issues with getting into this game at first. For one, the button mappings that the game assigns you at the beginning are all wrong. At least this is on the PS4 version. I'll link you to a video breaking that down right now. Please be sure to watch that video before trying your hand at this game. It will make an already complex shooter game a lot simpler from the jump. Now, like I said before, don't expect regular updates, pretty graphics, or a booming player base from HAWKEN, but you can sure as hell expect some good old mech on mech action. Here we have the last game on this list, and straight away you'll realize, well, at least maybe you won't realize, guys, but I tried to keep the PS4 footage at a I tried to keep it very limited here because, well, to be frank, the PS4 version, as far as graphics go, is quite shit. I mean, it's quite shit, guys. I mean, but the actual game itself has been an absolute blast. You start off in the campaign mode as this character named Commander Mason or something to that extent. Listen, guys, I don't really keep up with the story, okay? It's actually a lot like the PS4 graphics, meaning it's quite shit as well. But as a commander, you get to create your own band of mercenaries. You get to travel across the inner sphere and take contracts, building up your own little army of mech pilots. You choose your alliances and get points for your general reputation as well as your reputation among clients. Honestly, it's easily hundreds of hours for you to get out of this game. If I'm being honest here, guys, I'm actually planning to do a whole video on Mechwarrior 5. In fact, this game and HAWKEN are, basically the only reasons I'm fully prepared to purchase a PlayStation 5 right now. I mean, Elden Ring is also on its way. Not sure if I'll really get into that. I just never really got into the Souls games after Dark Souls 1. I think Dark Souls 1 was perfect, and I think the PvP strayed too much. But anyway, guys, if you leave it up to me, I'll turn this into a Dark Souls video. Now, all I have to do is befriend a genie and have him use his magical powers to ship me a fucking PlayStation 5 here in Jamaica. Let's be real, that's the only way I would get my hands on that console in good time. But look, guys, Mechwarrior 5 is great fun. You'll have a blast investing in your mechs and your pilots and getting the hang of the in-game economy. So you have to watch how you spend and consider the cost of travel and other things like this. I mean, there was one situation where I went on a mission and one of my pilots ended up eating one too many bullets to the face, and this guy was in the infirmary for like 72 days, guys. I literally couldn't use that pilot. I had to wait until he took his medicine and drink some chicken soup and something, and then he got to come back into the battlefield. Obviously it wasn't literally 72 days, guys, but you get the point. It was really cool, very immersive. I really like that. It kind of reminds me of Pokemon if Pokemon was a bit more sophisticated. And everybody knows that Pokemon is the GOAT. So let's just not kid ourselves here, guys. Anyway, I can't recommend this game enough. The only catch I would say is that you should probably get this game if you have a PlayStation 5, unless you grew up in the 90s like me and you're used to your video games looking like cardboard cutout figures. Anyway, what do you guys think of the games on this list? Have you tried playing any of them for yourself? Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments below. By the way, remember to like this video and to share and to definitely hit subscribe, unless of course you're a waste man. That's right, guys, I don't make videos for waste man. Until next time, bang, kai.